That one ended very, very late. That game took way too long to end. It was just dragging on and on and on and on. Dragging on a lot. And pretty annoyed with this ball game on the Phillies standpoint. The offense was dead. The offense didn't do anything. And we had chances early on in this ball game. We had chances midway through this ball game to drive in some runs. And we didn't. We didn't do that whatsoever. And the Tigers came back the next half inning after those chances, and they scored a run to make it a ball game. And we kind of wasted a solid outing from Aaron Nola, but thank God our bullpen after Aaron Nola was done for today came in and shut the door down and gave us a chance to win this ball game in extra innings. And also, factoring in that there was a rain delay before this game started, can't catch a break with the rain the past couple of series with the Dodgers and the Pirates. Just can't catch a break with the rain delays. It's kind of getting annoying on that perspective too. But back to the ball game, it's just we had chances in the first inning to score runs. We had a runner on second and third. JT Realmuto strikes out. Cesar Hernandez also gets an out. So we don't score that inning at all. The bottom of the first inning, the Tigers get a couple runners on. Scott Kingery makes a little miscue in the field. The ball bounces right over him. And then a couple batters later, Aaron Nola throws a wild pitch, and the Tigers manage to make it 1-0. So the Tigers get a lucky break, and they score when we don't cash in on an opportunity. But the Phillies do respond right back in the top of the second inning. Adam Hazley gets on with a hit. Then Roman Quinn hits an absolute bomb into left field. An absolute bomb. He crushed the hell out of that ball. I'll give him that. Don't expect that kind of power from Roman Quinn. So it's a 2-1 game at this point. A little bit of a pitching duel going back and forth. And Noel pretty solid. Boyd's pretty solid for the Tigers. So we go into the top of the sixth inning. We get bases loaded. And our luck with the bases loaded in the past couple of series hasn't been pretty good. Haven't been driving in runs at all with the bases loaded. And we do the exact same thing. Don't score at all. Adam Hazley with the bases loaded, out. Roman Quinn, bases loaded, out. Don't score runs right there at all. And the Tigers, what did he do in the bottom of the sixth inning? They tied a ball game at 2. Castellanos gets a double, drives in a run. 2-2 at this point. And same thing. They score when we don't cash in on an opportunity. Comes right back to haunt us. And basically a pitching duel going through the rest of the game, through extra innings. Some bullpen guys come up clutch for us, especially guys like Nick Pivetta. I'll give it to Nick Pivetta. He gave us a pretty solid 3 2/3 innings out of the bullpen. And pretty solid. And he only walked 1, struck out 5. He gave us some important innings right there. So maybe, hopefully, maybe, he could build off this. Just maybe. Not going to stretch too much into the future with that, because it's Nick Pivetta. But maybe he can build off this. Maybe. Just maybe. So, yeah, and the rest of the bullpen, Neris comes in after Nick Pivetta, strikes out 2, gets out of his inning. Juan Nicasio comes in, gets into a little jam of his own, but he manages to get out of it. Then Jose Alvarez comes in for the 14th and the 15th inning. He pitches 2 for us. And the 14th inning is actually a pretty big defensive inning for us, a really key play in this ballgame. So Brad Miller comes in for a defensive replacement for Nick Williams. And Tigers, they do get a couple runners on. And they do get a base hit, which goes to Brad Miller. And Castellanos, who is on second base at this point, is trying to round third going home to win the ballgame for the Tigers. So Brad Miller gets the ball, and he guns at the home plate, and JT Realmuto manages to tag Castellanos out. And really good throw there by Brad Miller to save this ball game for us, basically. It did take a review, but on the replay, JT did get the tag in before the runner managed to cross home plate. So really key play right there to keep this ball game tied at 2 going into the 15th. So Scott Kingery leads off the 15th for us, almost hits a home run down the right field line, but it stays in the ballpark, and he gets a triple out of that. And this is Scott Kingery's first hit of the day. So he finally woke up his bat tonight, and he got a big triple for us. Rhys Hoskins has been hot the past few games. His bat woke up again, and he hits a single down the right field line, which scores Scott Kingery to make it a 3-2 ball game. and we don't score any runs the rest of the inning. So it's a 3-2 ball game going to the bottom of the 15th. Alvarez is still in the mound for us, and he shuts down the door. 1-2-3 inning, and the Phillies win this ball game. But it just doesn't feel good. It just doesn't feel exciting at all. Just more annoying and tedious. Just you had so many chances in this ball game to score, and you don't. And it's too much of a common theme with this ball club. We know how good our offense is. We know the potential this offense has. They don't live up to it. They don't meet expectations. They're just super inconsistent. From how much talent the lineup has, even though we are a little bit injury riddled though, but still doesn't matter. There's still a lot of big pieces in this lineup to not be a threat. Rhys Hoskins, Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, Scott Kingery. That we have pieces in this lineup. But the bats were just dead silent today. Dead silent. I would say our best hitter was Rhys Hoskins. And it's also granted that his bat's starting to wake up once again. But it just feels like, I mentioned this maybe many videos ago, and probably it's a common reoccurring theme. It just feels like with this lineup, no one's clicking at the same time. It's usually just one or two people click, and then the rest don't. It's never the same. Never the same. But thank God our pitching came up clutch today and gave us a chance to win this ball game. Nola really pitched solid. His stat line was 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs allowed, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Put us in a position to win this ball game. Even Boyd on the other side for the Tigers, he pitched a pretty solid ball game. Got out of that bases loaded jam in the 6th. He goes 6 strong innings, allows 5 hits, 2 earned runs on the Roman Quinn home run, strikes out 8. Yeah, and there were just times throughout this ball game where both teams just couldn't pay for a hit. They were striking out on both sides a lot of times. There was just nothing really going on both sides at the start of extra innings throughout. And before that 15th inning, when we managed to score a run, I think we were 0 for 8, I think at that point, with runners in scoring position. And the Tigers were 1 for 10. And just, that just shows that we had our chances, and there wasn't that key hit. There wasn't that big hit to drive in runs. And even though we did get that hit late, it just doesn't feel as good when you had all those other opportunities earlier in the ball game to make it your run lead higher. It just doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good at all. And you kind of ruined the solid outing by Nola, but you just also have to be thankful that your bullpen was really solid today. Even though I keep saying that, but the bullpen was really solid for us, and it came up clutch when our offense didn't want to wake up. And stat line from our players today in the lineup: Scott Kingery goes 1 for 7 with that triple, but he does strike out 4 times. Rhys Hoskins goes 2 for 5 with that RBI single in the 15th, with 2 walks as well. Bryce Harper, who was the DH tonight, goes 1 for 7, strikes out 3 times. Very quiet night for him. JT Realmuto also goes 1 for 7 with 2 strikeouts, leaves 5 runners stranded on base, and also Bryce Harper leaves 3 runners stranded on base. Cesar Hernandez goes 0 for 7. He leaves 6 runners stranded, so he had more of the opportunities with runners in scoring position and didn't come up clutch. Maikel Franco goes 2 for 4 with 2 walks. Adam Hazley goes 1 for 6 with a run scored, 3 strikeouts. Roman Quinn goes 1 for 5 with that home run, and also 2 strikeouts. So really, and Nick Williams, he also goes 0 for 4. Yeah, you're not going to get much out of Nick Williams. He sucks. So, yeah. So, just a pretty, frustrating ball game to watch. Pretty boring. It just dragged on and on with the extra innings going into the 15th. It just felt like this game wasn't going to end. I was praying that this game didn't reach 20. I was praying that it did not. Thank God it didn't. It only went 15. We were 5 innings away from going 20, but still, thank God it ended at the 15th inning, because I couldn't stand watching this ball game. It made my eyes bleed on how bad our offense was, on how much our offense can hit bad teams. And the Tigers are in the middle of a gigantic rebuild, and it just feels like we can't hit the bad teams. Marlins, we suck against. And today, our offense didn't step up against the Tigers. Just simple as that. And tomorrow we have Vince Velasquez on the mound. Don't know what to expect from that. It's Vince Velasquez. You can either get a Vince Velasquez who's super confident and can give you a solid 5-6 innings, or you can get the Vince Velasquez that gets into his own head and he can't get out of 3 or 4. So, don't know what to expect for tomorrow. So, on that, don't forget to leave a comment on this ball game. Don't forget to share your thoughts on this ball game. But also a side note, I'm using my webcam from my laptop as well, because with the recording system that I use, the software, I used to use my phone to record with the software because I use OBS, and you're able to connect your phone camera to OBS to record. But the software would always make my phone burn up like hell, and it shot the battery. And the battery is pretty much bad right now. So I don't know if the webcam is good for you guys. So don't forget to leave a comment what do you think, if it's better with the phone or if it's better with the webcam. Because I really don't know at this point, so don't just share your thoughts on that too. If you prefer the webcam or if you prefer the phone. So don't forget to leave a comment on that. So, just like I said, don't forget to comment on this game. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next video. That ball game dragged on way too long. Way too long.